At this moment, I would like to invite all the guests who are not Rotarians to please stand up and line up over here. All the guests that are not Rotarian, including all our students in the program, and our exchange student too. Come on up. All the guests. Fellow Rotarians, as you can see, you are developing the new Rotarians in the world. And I know you know the meaning of service, and you know if we develop our youth, we will assure the world that our service in the world will never ever be interrupted. I want to thank all of you today. You could be chasing a boy or you could be chasing a girl somewhere today. But you have chosen to come and join us and see what the Rotary world is all about. And we are proud of all of you. And to you who are our mature people, thank you for being here today. Sometimes we hesitate about coming to our service clubs and visit with all the Rotarians. But you have taken the time of your life and you come to join us and see what we're doing. And we appreciate all of you. And if you decide to join this club, you are joining a movement in our district, not only a service club. They are great people. As you can see, they have served their countries very well, and they are serving our district all the time. And we need all your kind hands and kind hearts for our service. Thank you again. With that today, I'm going to declare all of you as honorary members of our District 5330, and my wife and Phil is going to give you the theme pin for our district. And thank you for being here. Please rise and thank your visitors for today, for being here with you and joining us today. Thank you. Let me see if I can help you. Phil. Honey, one is for half you too. You're running out? We have some. Okay, so we're just going to give them audio. I don't know. And the lucky one's going to get 4. Okay? All right. Let's everybody. All right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we hope we see you on the road of service in Rotary. Anybody want to ride? All right. Yes, Ryla. Pride, not yet. Pride? Yeah, fantastic. That's great. I want to thank you all for developing these young men and women for the future. Thank you very much. Please go ahead. Have a seat. Thank you very much. Thank you. At this time, we would like to give some rewards to some of the Rotarians that they always do something just extra. We all join for service, but some of us just go a little bit over to become the vapor. And what we're talking about, the vapor. The little bit over is the 1 degree, which changes water to vapor that drives automotive and locomotive, and also generate electricity and light. And that's the 1 degree we're talking about. Today, we'll honor some of you, and all of you in Rotary count for all the service you do. As my grandfather always says, when you build a big castle, a great castle, every little nail counts. So everyone in your club counts, and everyone you serve counts, and everyone that gives counts. But these 3 Rotarians in your club have gone over, and always you can see them serving a little bit over. Phil, would you please stand up? Phil has, as you can see, his passion for foundation. And Phil in his heart knows what we do in foundation. He knows that we have, since we started eradicating polio, that we eradicated or vaccinated over 2.4 billion children in the world, with over 200 million volunteers to vaccinate the children. Since we started with 380,000 cases in the world. Now we're less than 400 cases in the world. We have only 3 countries in the world that have polio. He understands what it means to give a wheelchair or dig a well somewhere. He understands what Olga in Nicaragua, when she's thanked the Rotarians, when we had a surgery on her for double cleft palate. And Olga was 67 years old, and no one gave her a surgery that will fix her face and give her the confidence. But the Rotarians, 1 year ago, we accompanied them, we gave her a surgery, and Olga was recovering in one room, and Olga has a little mirror in her hand because she could not believe that after 67 years, someone will come and help her and fixes her face so that she live a normal life. And she will grab every Rotarian that went through that door and will tell them, God will give you more life and wealth and health because you helped me. And she said, thank you, Rotarians, for giving me my dignity. You see, we did not give Olga a pair of shoes. We did not give Olga a meal. We just gave Olga the dignity. Everyone is born with dignity, but she was deprived out of her dignity because of her imperfection in her face. And she had to walk the streets with a bag on her face whenever she goes to school. And school and the kids in that country will stone her if she didn't have that bag. And she never get any education. So Phil understands the need, understands that we give people dignity in the world. I want to thank you. And on behalf of your club, on behalf of the district, we're going to present you today with Service with Passion Award. And the Service with Passion Award is only, you're going to see it in this district. It's only for the Rotarians who just give that 1% more, that 1 degree. Phil, I'm honored to be giving you this award today on behalf of your club, on behalf of your president, and on behalf of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The second person, you know, we in the district, we always see him with his camera. You know, Bob, would you come up, please? You know, Bob, not only a Rotarian, but he's an extraordinary Rotarian. In all these years, I mean, the first person I probably can remember in the district is Bob, when I came in. And he never grew old, so, no, he never grew old. You see, my wife, I had a birthday the other day, and I was 60. So I looked at my wife and said, honey, I'm 60 right now. Do I look 60? And she said, no, but you used to. So, Bob, we are proud to be a Rotarian serving next to you, and you don't leave any memory. You catch every memory in our district, and I run into your pictures all the time. And he does it from the greatness of his heart. And those are the Rotarians that we appreciate. Thank you. Yeah, this all service of ourselves.
Thank you.
We should take a picture with all three. So, one more person in your club, and he also understands the importance of eradicating polio in the world. And since then, since he joined, our district have done a fantastic job into getting the Rotarians to donate to this cause. And he understands that as long as we get rid of this crippling disease, that our children will live free of this crippling disease around the world. John, would you please come on up? I know you're taping, so thank John. Thank you for being the chair of the district, and thank you for your work. And I'm honored to give you this award. Fellow Rotarian, would you please stand up and give a hand to all your fellow Rotarians? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, please sit down. Now it gives me about 2 hours to do my speech. So, I started my journey of service about 17 years ago. My wife joined me about 7 years ago, and she said, you're not going to have fun alone in Rotary. So she joined me, and since then we have been on many service projects, and I want to thank her for being standing next to me all this time. You see, when I joined, thank you. When I joined, I used to have a shop right here in Sierra Wayne, Florida, and one gentleman in town, and his name is Jerry Dublin. And some of you probably know Jerry Dublin. And Jerry Dublin came to my shop, and he said, why don't you join Rotary Club? Well, being from Lebanon, we don't have these clubs. We don't understand what's the difference between a Rotary Club and a Sam's Club. There's not much difference. To me, it didn't have any difference. But being in the automobile business, I look at the car and I see a wheel, a big, nice wheel. And I looked at it and I said, oh, this is another driving club, so I'll make a lot of money on it. Well, I was disappointed. But my president says, you need to get involved in Rotary. We never had an international director, and you're from Lebanon, so you're international, you understand it, so you'll be the international director. And also, we never went to the district to get involved with the district. We don't know what they do at the district. We don't ever know. And we have a meeting at the district this weekend, coming up weekend. Why don't you go over there and see what they do and come back and tell us? So I go. It was in Riverside at the university. So I stood in the parking lot because I'm still determined these guys have big engines and big cars. So I start looking at the Rotarians coming in, and they're a mature age. They're driving Lincoln, Cadillacs, and Pintos, and I'm just thinking something else going on over here. I don't see the big engines. This group must be a cult. So I said, I will go inside and listen to see if they are a cult or not. So I sat down, and somebody introduced someone by the name of Milt Levinson. And Milt Levinson took that podium, and he told us why we are Rotarians. Why do we do it? Why do we give somebody a wheelchair and free them from being crippling? Why we dig a well somewhere in the world and give pure water? And why we vaccinate some children in the world not to become cripples? And why we give a scholarship and become so our kids can be educated? And why? And why? And why? And at that moment, I realized that I just became a Rotarian. But all of that reminded me who I am and where I'm from. See, I'm from Lebanon, and the age we grew up, there's a lot of poverty. I had one pair of shoes, and when they wear out, I would have to pass by the little shop in the town, little market, and pick up a cardboard box, and preferably a banana box which has wax on it, and I'll cut the piece and I put it in my shoes and I walk to school. And the other day I was telling my mom, this is what I tell the stories when I speak to Rotarians. She said, you're not telling them the whole story. At Christmas, you have to go to walk to the shoemaker, and you sit over there for 2-3 hours. You take your shoes off, he'll put a sole on them and paint them, so you'll have a good looking shoes for Christmas. I have one pair of pants, and if those pair of pants will get dirty, I have to wash them by hands. And we stood by the little stove with a little pipe coming out of the room, and we stand over there and we dry them. And then if they dry, that's fine. If they don't dry, you just wear them, and you smell like mildew all day long. You see, my father and my mother are illiterate. My mother, she doesn't even know how to sign her name. She draws her name. We taught her how to draw her name. So whenever she signs, she draws. But they understood the importance of education. So my father came to me and he said, you are 6 in the family, I have 6 children, but I cannot educate you all. I only can educate you as the oldest child. And then you gotta shake my hand right now and do a contract that when you become someone in the world and capable, you will give the hand to your brothers and sisters. And I did that, and I did not completed my contract until I was 38 years old. But my contract just got renewed automatically when I joined Rotary, because that's how my father told us. You see, my father was a worker, just like the workers you see in front of him depot, and he's lucky enough he will be able to buy a big piece of cheese that night, and then we'll sit on dinner and he will cut it into 8 pieces, and we have bread, cheese, and olives. And if we cut a little bigger piece of cheese, we'll get slapped across the face and sat on the side, because they wanted to let us know that we have to share, and we have to share equally. You see, today, Phil got up this morning and he wants to know what he's going to wear to come to the club. So he listened to the news. The temperature is about 65 degrees. He put a nice shirt on, and all the streets are nice and good to go to the club. But that's not the case when you live in a civil war. In civil war, I'll get up, I'll go to Donis, because we don't have no phones. I'll go to Donis, I'll walk over and say, Donis, which road did you take today to go to work? Because if I do not listen to Donis, and I go on, and I make the wrong turn, I'll be pulled out of my car somewhere, put by that wall, and I'll be shot like a dog. I will not even be buried like a dog. You see the news all over the world. And when I heard Milt Levinson talking about that we give someone that we will never ever see, that you Rotarians give someone that never ever see in the world, that's what gave me the privilege and the love for Rotary and what we do in the world. You see, I've been blessed to brush with a lot of good Rotarians like yourself in the district, like wow. One of the Rotarians in our club, his name is Dave Coleman. And Dave Coleman served Rotary faithfully. And he transported those kids to Ryla for 20 years. And old age got up with Dave Coleman, and he wound up in a home. And I called him, and I said, how are you doing? He said, I'm doing okay. But I missed all of you in my club. I missed my Rotary family. And I pray to God every day that I can get enough strength so I can walk into my club one more time. We made his dream through. We went to his home and we met with him at the home in Redlands. And Dave cried all the time because he's happy. He's got all his family with him. The family that helped him and worked together. Jeff Williams served the district for many years, and Jeff Williams was a great person. And 3 days before he faced God,